Hi Bill and Margie, this is a video of all the technical stuff we did at your house. I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of the entire property, just kind of demo you all the functions and locations of everything. This will kind of serve as a baseline. When you guys are back from Nantucket, we can do a proper walkthrough with you here, and then any adjustments and stuff we need to make, we can kind of finalize it from that point onwards. So here, as you can see, I'm at the entrance of your front door. Basically here, I have a hybrid switch here. One thing to note for the hybrid switches, these were all the old switches that came from your previous installation. So none of them are physically labeled correctly. We have set the programming to what, we, in discussion with the designers and what we think is appropriate for the new design. But once you guys come back, kind of get a little situated and, live a little bit here and kind of functionalize as far as how you want to control the lighting. Then based off 1 or 2 weeks of that, then we can kind of refine the naming conventions, and if any programming changes are needed, we can refine it. At that point, I will go and get these switches re-engraved with the correct writing. But for now, I'm just going to kind of dictate what each button is doing, so you have a general idea, and then we can refine it to the next time I see you guys. So first thing is you have a hybrid switch here. This first switch right here, if you hit it here, the goal of the switch is to turn the living room, dining room, and all your hallway lights. So this hallway and the hallway going all the way down, those lights will be on, okay? And anytime if you want to shut any of these functions off, you can simply hit this shut off button. The last button is to kill all the lights in the house. It will also put all the shades down. So basically, if you're exiting the home or you want to shut any of these scenarios off, you simply hit that off button. Keep in mind that this switch does both shades and lighting. So in a shade scenario, you do have up and down controls, and then obviously in the lighting scenario, you do have dimming up and down controls at the very bottom of this switch. So the second button here we set up as just hallways. So if I essentially hit this, it's only this hallway, and this hallway. None of the living room and dining turn on. Then basically from a lighting standpoint, those are your two main lighting switches. The next three are basically designated for shades. So if I hit this top one, Ricky, you want to just turn around, and you'll see now the living room and dining room shades will go up. Give it a second. And this button will take the shades all the way to 50%. And if you turn back here, if I hit the button right after it, this will bring the shades all the way back down. So if you want to put the shades completely down. And then basically the last two buttons before the dimming buttons, this button right here, the second to last, is all lights on. So the entire house, any smart light that's available is on. Then the last button is basically all lights off and all shades down. So this way you're in a complete closed scenario, windows closed and all lighting off. So basically this is the main hybrid switch for the entry exit of your house. Again, just brainstorm any type of changes you may need in the future. We can adjust this accordingly. So kind of continuing the conversation, if you point up here, we have your entrance Nest smoke detector. This smoke detector is labeled on the Nest app, and basically you have full control in a fire event, and it's smoke and CO. This will go straight to your phone, Margie, and basically warn you through the Nest app. Continuing forward, I have basically in this closet, Ricky, you can just kind of pan, but you won't get a visual. But we hid an access point between all this cabinetry on the top, so you have a wireless access point in this area. Going forward, we roll on to the living room. Obviously, you have your Nest. This is the thermostat control for this entire zone. And then we have another hybrid switch over here, basically controlling primarily your living room. So the first button here, if I hit it, this is all lights on in the living room, and this is basically at 100%. And you may not be able to see this on the video, but I'll just hit off here. And if I hit the second button, it's the same exact scenario, but at 50% lighting. So if you're in the evening and you want to kind of not have a full brightness situation, then you would hit the second button here. Okay? Then my third button here is basically my shades. So when I hit this button, my shades will go up. And just to be clear, this button is to take the shades all the way up. And I will hit the next button. And this is to basically bring the shades down. And here the middle button basically stops the shade at 50%. And if you go to the following button, this will take the shades completely down. And again, the last button here is your off button to basically kill all the lights in the living room. And then keep in mind you have your dimming buttons up and down respectively according to the shades and lighting switches. All right, so let's continue our walk over here. The next thing basically in this area is the Sonos system. So Ricky, if you want to kind of just come over here. I will show you the iPad here. So we have 5 Sonos zones. This is considered the living room zone. We have your guest bedroom, which is all the way to the back room, master bath and master bedroom. And then this is the media room. Keep in mind, all of these are in-wall speakers throughout the property, whereas this is the Sonos Arc soundbar that's connected to the TV. Traditionally, the Sonos system will just do 2 speakers left and right, a Sonos amplifier. Bill, in your case, I wanted to stick with 4 speakers, and I actually put new speakers in this area. We did not reuse your old speakers that you had here. So I put bigger speakers, and basically in your old setup you had 2 here and 2 here. So the speakers that I use are dual woofers with a tweeter in the middle. So I put 1 here and then a row of 3 going down here. And this is basically all one Sonos zone. Also, to keep in mind, we did set up your Sonos from an account standpoint. Your Amazon account is married to it, and then we also move all your music data. So your original playlists and stuff locally that you had saved, they're also on the Sonos system, so you can kind of access anything that you wish. When you come here, I think you had Spotify and 1 or 2 other services, I'm not sure. But anything, Sonos adjustment-wise, let us know and we can kind of tune that out. Okay? So this is the kitchen zone. In the kitchen, we have 2 hybrid switches, one over here with 7 buttons, and we have another hybrid switch over there in the where the stove area is. We basically mirrored these 2 hybrid switches. So to go through it, the first button is all kitchen lights on. So every single light in the kitchen area turns on. Then I have the second button as just the countertop lights. So both your countertops, the front and rear, are on. Then the next button is the dining room shades. So the shades will go up to 100%. Then the button after that is the 50% shades. So as you can see, the shades are going back down. And then the following button right underneath it is shades fully down. And let's move over here. So you're used to the iPad, Bill, as far as controlling the Logitech Harmony. We have physical harmonies in both locations, the media room and this room where the TVs are. But basically you could go to your Harmony app, and in the Harmony app you'll see 2 rooms present, media room and kitchen. So for example, I'll click on kitchen, and then I can hit watch Apple TV, and you'll see my kitchen TV go on without a remote. And essentially you can control that full activity from here. And then obviously the remote handheld will mirror this app right here. Apple TV is doing an update, so we could just kind of leave this alone, and I can shut it off basically right here. Okay, and just to be clear, over here is the second switch, and again, this mirrors exactly that switch in the front, and you also have your handheld harmony if needed here. All right, and let's continue forward to this hallway. So this hallway is basically, we have another multi-button switch here. So the first button essentially controls just these two hallway lights. So if you were to walk out, you just want to have this light. The second button we did is just the kitchen pendant lights. We did these small lights and just the pendant lights. I figured, you know, at night you don't want all of them going on in your face. And then the third button is to essentially kill both of these lights. So you could turn either one on and you could turn off both with that third button. And then again, shades up, shades down, or right here, dining room. Okay, and then shade down. You can see. All right, and also wanted to show you one thing here. We have a wireless access point in this back closet area. Let's turn the lights on here. Right there. All right. And then continuing down this hallway, you have another Nest smoke detector here. And then we get to the master bedroom area. So now here in the master bedroom area, we have another multi-button switch. Okay, so this is the master bedroom. As you can see here, we're at the entrance. The first switch is the external hallway light. This light is obviously already on, but this is the controlling for this. Then the second switch is for your inside hallway. So this is the hallway in the inside of the master bedroom. Then continuing forward, if we hit the third one, this is the master bedroom chandelier. So you can see that light turn on. If I hit the fourth one, now I am raising the privacy shades, both windows, just to be clear. Right here. And then I can also continue onwards and hit this one, which will now raise my transparent shades. Again, both windows. And lastly, if I want to shut it all down, lights and shades, I simply hit this. So as you can see, my light is off, my chandelier light is off, both my transparent and my privacy shades are going down. Okay? In this room also, we have your Nest thermostat, which controls the HVAC for this room. We in addition have two more hybrid switches here. So the first button here, if I click here, this will basically give me my hallway lights and my chandelier light in the master. Then if I click the second button here, this will raise my privacy shades. And just to be clear, both of these mimic exactly the same thing. So this is set up as this. And what we did is we ran out of buttons because we have so many functions in this room. So the privacy shades and lighting is on these, and then these little remote picos are for the transparent shades. So basically this third button is to raise my privacy. If I go to the next button, this is to lower my privacy at 50%. Actually, sorry, it's to lower the privacy completely, not 50%. The following button is for the 50% privacy. Okay, and then the last button we have here, all off, this essentially kills the entire house. So from your bedside, on both sides, you or Margie can basically hit this button and it will kill the entire house from a switch standpoint. And it's also programmed to put both the privacy and transparent shades in this room down also. So it's like a complete blackout status, okay? And just remember, this does exactly the same as that switch. And this is the handheld, which is basically a Pico remote. And let me just turn the lights on here. And then basically here, we are only controlling the transparent shades. And again, the same ideology. You have transparent up, transparent down, and then you can set it at 50% using the middle button right there. And we will put these on your bedside table. If you want, we can also mount them on the wall, so everything is, not cluttered here, but we just kind of left them on the sides for now. And this is kind of the shade and lighting setup for this room. Moving forward, let's also point out you have a Nest smoke detector right there, again on the Nest app. Then Bill, in your closet right here, I also have, let me shut this light off, you can see it. There's a Unify access point right there, wireless, on the ceiling. Then coming into this room, you have your Sonos room. So basically the bathroom has a Sonos speaker. This is designated as a Sonos zone, the master bathroom zone. Then you have another hybrid switch here. So the first button controls basically that side light and your ceiling light. The second button will raise your shade. The next button will lower your shade. And then lastly, the last button will kill this entire room. Okay, so this is basically the layout over here. And one thing also I forgot to point out in this room, you also have 2 speakers in the ceiling over here. And again, this is designated as your master bedroom Sonos zone. So technically you have 2 zones, the master bath and the master bedroom. Also you have a Alexa voice control over there also. And all the bedrooms and the kitchen area basically have one. And we got that thermostat, right?
Yep.
All right. This is the media room. So again, we have another hybrid switch here. If I hit the top one, I activate these 3 lights and the chandelier. If I hit the next one, I have started to raise the shades. And then the following button, which I just hit, is the 50% marker on the shades. The next button, put the shades down. And then the last button is to kill your lights. And also in this room, again, we have your media room. So I can simply connect here, watch Apple TV. And then again, I have my TV going on, my Apple TV going on. Again, full control through here. And then keep in mind, you have your Harmony remote right there. There's also an Alexa present in this room, and then we also have another Pico remote over here also. Okay, and as you can see, this Apple TV is also doing an update. Shut this off. Okay, and that's pretty much this one, straightforward. Okay. I would like to point out the HVAC room. So over here, we have another access point, basically giving me coverage for this side of the property. This is really irrelevant to you guys, but just so you're aware, we have a couple of wiring jump points in your old wiring that was partially reused in the apartment. That's a jump point for you. So really, this is just there. going down into this area. So now here we have the guest bedroom. So the first switch, when I hit it, I'm basically turning on my 2 lights. So the guest bedroom has ceiling lights here and ceiling lights horizontally. The second button is to turn on my hallway lights, including, so just to be clear, these are 2 separate lights. So this is the laundry light, laundry hallway, and this is guest bedroom hallway over here. And then we call this the guest bedroom entrance. Third button raises your privacy. Fourth button raises your transparent shades. And if we want to kill it all, so shut these lights, all my lights in here, I simply hit off, and all my lights shut off here. Okay? And then keep in mind, over here, we have the chandelier also, which is here. I did not put the chandelier on the entrance, but if you want us to merge it with these, we can. I kept it separate since it's in the center of the room. Over here, let's just put the chandelier light on so you can see. You have 2 Sonos speakers in the ceiling. And again, this is designated as a Sonos zone. You also have a smoke detector present. Again, a Nest smoke detector, which is right there. And then also an Alexa present right here. And we did 2 Pico remotes, again, for privacy and for the transparent. There's no hybrid switches here like your bedroom, so we just left these 2 Picos here so they have shade control. Okay? And let's get to the fun part. So Ricky, you want to come here? So basically this is your closet. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this iPad light on so you guys have light assistance here. Okay. So basically, if we were to just kind of break this room down, I just want you to, obviously we're here to support if there's any issues or any technical support. But I do want you to have the basic troubleshooting knowledge. So, if your system is acting up and you need to do a reboot or kind of specifically point something out, you should kind of know what is what. So basically, if you look at this layout, I have all these power adapters. These are my power adapters managing my shades. So all my shade wire home runs are coming here. I have all my power management going through this corner. And then also the power management for the equipment is that back bar that feeds all this equipment. Then the shades basically connect to the Lutron brain. This is called the main repeater. So this is like the boss of the Lutron system. Then you have something called the cloud key. So this is what lets you use the Lutron app, defines everything, the whole internet connectivity aspect. Then basically that's pretty much it for the hardware for the Lutron stuff. The only other stuff you have, if you want to just turn around, are these switches. So you have hybrid switches throughout the property. And then these are your hidden switches. So these are switches basically where there's no physical, switch for that light present in the room. We've hidden it here, and they're basically controllable via smart aspect, app or voice control only, because they all reside here. So that's basically your Lutron system. Then if you look at this closet from a network standpoint, basically this is your unified router. So this is the brain of your network. This is essentially where it addresses everything IP addressing wise and kind of organizes everything. In an internet reboot situation, we're basically going to be going to this device and then also this device. This is your Spectrum modem. So this has the Spectrum feed coming into it, which is feeding this. So if you have any internet issues, the first thing we're going to tell you is to reboot this and this, because this is kind of the boss and this is the feed. Okay. Then throughout the property, you have these access points present. I showed you 2 or 3 of them on that side. There's also a access point present behind your media room TV. But basically this is what distributes your wireless name. Keep in mind you have 2 Wi-Fi networks. So you have Holodenac, which is your main Wi-Fi. and then you have HoloNet guest. So anybody that's an outsider, you know, visiting to your home, you want to give them internet so they have basic browsing capabilities, that's perfectly fine. Give them the guest, they'll get that. But the guest network is completely firewalled separate from your internal network. So local functions like, you know, Lutron, Sonos, AirPlay, any type of, you know, LAN functions that you're doing on site on the network, they will not have access to because they're on a guest network, which simply just gives them internet, nothing else. Continuing forward, this is also called a cloud key. So this is basically how we program, update, and manage all the unified devices. Then basically throughout the property, we run Ethernet wiring to hardwire all your data type devices, TVs, Apple TVs, all these access points, different services. So all those wires feed into these switches. This is your Netgear switch, and then this is another TP-Link switch. Basically, this is something called power over Ethernet. So these things get juice and data from this switch. There's not an actual power wire going to it. So this is called the PoE switch. This manages that. In certain internet reboot situations, we would also tell you to reboot this because when you pull the power, it'll reboot all the access points, which is, you know, a good thing to do when you're rebooting the system. And then basically this is an additional switch because we just need more ports. So it's a secondary switch. Then I have your Mac Mini here. I have remote access to this. It's part of the Occam Cloud bill. So I can, you know, log in, do any type of maintenance and whatever local services I need to do in the house. This also has this black USB drive connecting to it. This is all your music data that we converted for you in the past. So we have the Sonos app installed on this Mac Mini, and basically all your music is also hosted through this Mac Mini on your Sonos system. Okay. Up top here, you can see these little black boxes, 2 up there, 2 here. These are your Sonos ports. So remember we had 5 Sonos zones. So each box of these represents a zone. Then what we did is we just bought one big bus amp, and all your amplification for all the speakers for these 4 zones is being managed through this big amplifier. Okay. And then on the bottom here, I have cable boxes. So kitchen and living room, media room. Additional wiring that we had that we didn't use, we kind of bundle it up here. And then really the only other thing on the floor here is your old remotes. And Margie, I left this here. This is this is a smart lamp adapter. So if you have like a loose lamp that you want via app control, you know, it's available to you. You can pull this out, plug your lamp in, and, you know, have it wherever you wish. Okay. If you need more of these, let me know. I only programmed for 1, but if you need more, I can definitely get those. And last but not least, this is the main button and the main show. So in a reboot situation, obviously I would not have you pull plugs out on one of these things individually, unless you and I are FaceTiming or doing a one-on-one scenario. But the way to basically reboot the system, you hold this thing down. It will basically, let's just do a reboot now. So you see 1 beep, I let it go, my entire rack dies. So now I've successfully rebooted my network, I've successfully rebooted my switches. If I have any Sonos glitches, that's rebooted. And then my cable boxes, any type of, you know, obviously your Sonos, your Mac Mini and your Sonos USB, the whole thing gets rebooted, okay? The way I suggest is wait 30 seconds or 10 seconds, let things die down, and then simply hold, let go, and then the system will take roughly about 5 to 10 minutes to kind of boot up, okay? And that's kind of the only reboot process you have, okay? And that's pretty much it. So as you can see, this is kind of like the basic layout that we've kind of set up for you. When you guys get back in town from Nantucket, we can kind of go through this stuff in more detail, so you guys have a full understanding of how it works. And then based off, you know, 1 or 2 weeks of using the system, we can kind of make these adjustments and come to a very clean setup, and, you know, everything should be good to go. One last thing before I let you go, I just want to point this out. These are the building smoke detectors. These are battery operated. There's no power to them, and I believe there are 3 or 4 of them in this apartment. So when your building people come, they will manage these smokes. Just make sure they do not touch those smokes, because these smokes over here are obviously your Nest smokes, completely separate from the building system. Okay? All right, Bill, so I just wanted to kind of show you I think this is the biggest value add of this system that you and Margie will hopefully enjoy. So let's first kind of give you a demo of voice control. So this is the difference between going through like a full automation system like Savant, for example, AKA the Swami, and going to a voice control system, which is basically like an Alexa, Siri, Google Home, etc. In your home, we decided to do Alexas because of compatibility. They have the most compatibility in current state. And I'm just gonna kind of demo you the rooms. Basically, you can control functions like your shades, your lighting. You can also set your temperatures on your thermostats, and you have the basic ability to shut your TV off. The Logitech Harmony is a smart device, so you will be able to shut those things off. But the most convenient features really is the lighting and shades. So just to give you an example, I'm standing in your living room. I have labeled in the system window 1, 2, and 3. So I'm gonna say, Alexa, open living room window 1.
Okay.
So now you can see living room window is going up. Alexa, open living room window 2.
Okay.
That's going up right there. Alexa, open living room window 3.
Okay.
That's going right there. And then you want to see here, Alexa, open dining room window 1.
Okay.
Alexa, open dining room window 2.
Okay.
So as you can see, you have full voice control on the windows. So now let's shut them. Alexa, close living room window 1.
Okay.
Alexa, close living room window 2.
Okay.
Alexa, close living room window 3.
Okay.
Alexa, close dining room window 1.
Okay.
Alexa, close dining room window 2.
Okay.
So as you can see, you have full control on these shades. Basically, the most important thing we need to do when you guys get back is naming conventions. So, you know, Alexa basically has individual unique names for every single voice control device. So you are essentially calling a specific passphrase out. For example, I call that living room window 1, and it knows that that equals that to essentially control it. So when you guys get back, if you want to change any of the naming conventions, like names, etc., we can definitely do that. And then that will obviously dictate whatever dialogue you're going to scream out to control. Here's another example of the lighting. So Alexa, turn on ambient light.
Okay.
So now you can see this light went on. Alexa, turn off ambient light.
Okay.
Then I can see here, we call these lights the small lights. So Alexa, turn on small lights.
Okay.
And again, they go on. Alexa, turn on kitchen pendant lights.
Okay.
And again, you can see these go on. Alexa, shut off small lights.
Okay.
Alexa, shut off kitchen pendant lights.
Okay.
So this is the basic demo of voice control. As you kind of get used to it, you can create scenes. So you can say, you know, hey honey, I'm home, and you can group certain situations to go at the same time. We didn't do any scenes for you because obviously we're not sure how you want the house to behave. So when you guys get back and you kind of, you know, normalize with this technology, then we can create the scenes for lighting. So you can essentially come in here and say, hey, turn on dining room lights instead of calling each individual light. And we can do groupings of light, grouping of shades, and different functions together. Okay, so this is just a basic overview of voice control. And then the last point I wanted to point out, in every single room, we have shade Pico remotes. If you just kind of zoom in on those, Ricky. And basically these are manual shade controls. So since the shades don't have physical buttons, basically we have Picos placed throughout the house to kind of account for that. All right, thank you again, appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.